Hi there, Star Citizens. I am sitting in a 300i made by Origin Jumpworks. It is one of 4 versions of the 300 series, and I'll be going over each one, summarizing the benefits and flaws I see in the series. So I'm going to start off with the cockpit here. And as you can see, next to the Mustangs, this has absolutely the best view from inside a cockpit. Very, very spacious. And on the inside, it is pretty stylish. And that's what the part of the selling point of the 300 series is. It's about style. It's a luxury ship. Now, I'm not sure what all functionality all these buttons and gadgets are going to have, but at least they're going to be looking pretty good. Now, above here is the dock and collar, and that will be useful when you want to attach yourself to another ship. Usually it's going to be a larger ship, let's say a Constellation or Starfarer and the such. It'll be a lot better than having an EVA out of your ship and get to your friends. And in the back here, I'm going to assume this is the cargo section. Now, all 4 versions have extremely small cargo capacity. And here we have the retractable bed. And we all know that's going to be very useful, especially when you're out deep in space and you need to log out. Because in order for you and your ship to be safe, you need one of these. Now, here's where I have a huge issue with the 300s, and this is very similar with the Auroras. Now, you can see there are 2 doors here to get in and out of the ship, and for the life of me, I do not know why you need 2 doors. And if you're trying to look for efficiency, this is the most inefficient way of utilizing all the space in here. You just have yourself the 1 door, and one side being a solid wall. You could have the bed right here. You could have it have passenger seating. You could have a lot more cargo space. And you could even have this being a retractable passenger seat or some more cargo in these compartments. So for a luxury model, well, all 4 are luxury models, but for all of the 300s, you would think they would try to put more features in a nice looking ship like this. And wow. Oh, always happens, always. Something always happens when I do some video here. The ship itself, the 300i, it looks pretty good. Doesn't have any paint jobs on it. I assume there's going to be some available later in the game. Now, all 4 models have the same chassis, and they all have the same signature wingspan. The biggest difference is the 350R, and that will have 2 thrusters instead of 1. Now, as far as weaponry goes, it comes with 2 Omni Skies 6s, and they are fixed, 1 on each wing. And that's not what these are. I switched them out with something, in my opinion, better. And then on the nose, it will have a gimbaled size 1 Bulldog. And this here is a size 3 fixed Panther. And these are Badgers, by the way. But it shows what you can do to upgrade to your liking. You're not stuck with the stock weaponry. The biggest downside as far as weaponry goes is the missiles. You're stuck with two little missiles. And you can upgrade to twin racks, but that still only leaves you with 4. So the 300i is the second fastest of the 300 series as far as speed goes, but the 350R by leaps and bounds is extremely much more faster. Now on to the 315P. This is the Explorer version, and it has 3 features. It has a jump drive, a tractor beam, and a special sensor. Now the jump drive, that's just for fuel efficiency when you're making a jump. The tractor beam is something a little different. It's not available in the game to use yet, and it does not come with the ship when you purchase it as of the current update. And it's assuming that you can drag objects floating around to your ship. Now, as earlier describing the cargo space of the 300 series, it is very, very small. So if you're out there exploring by yourself and you come across an object that's a little too big, you're kind of out of luck. So the only other really good use I see for it is if you're with someone with a much larger ship, or have someone that could come to you with a larger ship with a larger cargo capacity, and you can drag objects to that ship. So until we know a little more, I find the tractor beam feature somewhat a little useless. Now the sensor, that is supposed to pick up new jump point locations, and we all know jump points will be very, very valuable information, because not only will it give you access to quicker routes to areas around the galaxy, but maybe even new locations that are temporary only for you. And so you can sell the information on the market, or you can keep it to yourself. And the biggest thing to remember with new jump point locations is that they are temporary. They can last a long time or last a very short time. And so that's going to keep the 315P pretty busy throughout the game. So it's not like there's an X amount of jump points, and once they're all discovered, that's it. So overall, I find the 315 of the 300 series pretty beneficial. The 325A, this is the fighter version, and it has a little different weapon payload. It has a different shielding system, and it has what they call a customizable targeting system. Now with the weapons, it comes with 2 dual missile racks, so we have a total of 4. And then on each wing, you have one, the standard OmniSky 6 size 2. Then on the nose, it has a gimbal mass driver. Now the mass driver, I'm not a big fan of, especially for dogfighting. It's a little bit sluggish. But against larger targets, I could see it being a pretty good heavy hitter there. And luckily you can switch out your weaponry, so you can just switch back and forth depending on the strategy you want to use the ship for. Now with the shielding, it comes with what's called a force wall. The other 3 versions come with an all stop. I have no idea what the difference between the 2 are. Maybe the force wall can intake damage a little better. Maybe it regens the shields faster. I'm not sure. The customizable targeting system, all that does is target multiple targets at once. And with only 4 missiles, I don't know what the heck you're going to do targeting a whole bunch of, if they flare or chaff your missiles, you have nothing left to work with. What I'd rather see is having a single target lock, and it stays locked no matter what, no matter where their location is. So you'll be able to fire that missile wherever they are. And with the minimal missile payload you have, I see that as a good balance. Now, overall, the 325A, I don't see the huge benefit of it as of yet. I'd rather go with an Avenger like a Titan, where you could have a little more cargo space, a little less speed, but you're still going to have that good maneuverability, and the bed, of course. And if you just want something for fighting, I would see the Gladius as a better option. It has actually greater speed and has a bit of a better weapon payload. So until they do some changes, which by the way they are going to do an update pass with all the 300 series, um, I'll wait on the 325A, and I recommend waiting on the 325A. The 350R, this is the racing version, and what's the feature of this ship? Well, it's frickin' fast. It's so frickin' fast. It's the fastest ship in the game so far. And so it's going to be appealing to those that like to race. And what I see a good benefit for it is just traveling from point A to point B, especially if you can put on a jump drive for the fuel efficiency. So if you're jumping into a system and you're afraid of the bad people, you should be able to outrun them in the cruise speed when you're trying to get to a planet or a space station. Now it can be used for fighting, and I've read people saying they've tried it with fighting and kind of the fast hit and run. I'm not sure how well it handles. So speed's great and all, but if you can't handle it, you're probably going to end up running into something and just killing yourself. So the 350R overall will be a pretty good ship if you want fast and racing, or you just want to get from point A to point B. The 300 series overall, I see them as a bit of a downer. The design of the interior did not utilize the space that there is inside the ship. They could have done a much better job adding features to utilize the space. The ships themselves are pretty fragile. I've gone at very low speeds and barely bumped into something, and my ship would spin out of control and I would lose my wings. So hopefully they'll improve the whole strength of the 300 series. They are going to be doing an update pass on all four 300s, so we'll see what that entails. Maybe it's better weaponry, the 325A's system. Not sure, so we'll find out. Now, if you really, really want a 300 series ship, what would be the best to choose from? For me, be the 315P because of the scanning ability it has, and it's still a little fast. It has the bed. I'm not sure about the tractor beam yet. Next would be the 350R because it's just so freaking fast. The other two versions, if you're just wanting to fight, I would skip the 325A and go with the 300I because you can switch out pretty much the same weaponry to the 300i than you can with the 325A. So until they improve or be a little more specific about the weapon systems loadout that they detail on the 325A, I'll go with the 300i. So there you have it, folks, the 300 series. Thanks for listening, and take care, guys.